Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frank's Corner. Another shout out to the Bobcat, my Bobcat buddies. All right, let's talk. White House shooting. Trust me, my opinion, it was staged. All the rhetoric coming out of that shooting right now. I mean, look, if you look at it, they're all still partying afterwards, smiling. Nobody's scared. Nobody's nothing. Nobody went home. And everybody under their sun has come out and said, we need to finish the ballroom. This wouldn't have happened if the ballroom was finished. Although they did say the fella only got about a foot into the perimeter before somebody got him. So, yeah, that had nothing to do with the ballroom. But this is, again, I believe it's staged. I believe Trump's trying to do whatever he can do to push his ballroom agenda. He doesn't plan on leaving the White House. Y'all keep this in mind. He does not plan on leaving the White House. He plans on staying there. He's going to be a damn dictator in the end. And then you'll have to deal with Trump Jr. as another dictator because it just goes down the family line, on and on and on and on and on. But I keep hoping that people wake up. They're probably not going to. So now there's more talk about Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, and a pardon being on the table. But they're saying Republicans are pushing for a pardon. Now, she's got a thumb drive that's got information on it, and they don't really want that information coming out. If that information gets out, there's probably more heads going to roll. Donald Trump's probably all through it too. So what's going to happen is Donald Trump, because he can't actually give a pardon, he has to, you know, use them as a ploy to give a pardon. So he can't actually give her the pardon because the people be mad. So what he's going to sit there and say, well, the Republican said I had to give her a pardon. I didn't really want to do it. I really didn't want to do it, but they said it's necessary to get her testimony. Well, actually, that's not necessary. You ain't got a partner to get her testimony. You can just give her immunity from her testimony and let her testify. So this will be the catalyst and the reason that she gets a pardon. Trump's going to do this. Don't worry. And of course, he's going to deny it, say he didn't want to do it, and all this stuff. He's lying through his teeth. You know, she's got information on Molina and him, and he doesn't want that coming out because if that information gets out, he's screwed. But he's really not because let's look at Trump. This dude's been untouchable so far. You know, if I believe in the Antichrist, I believe this man is the Antichrist. I watch a lot of ministers that put down all the reasons why he's the Antichrist. I've got an uncle though that thinks that the United States is Israel and Jesus and his prophets walked over here and all this other good stuff. So the Antichrist can't rise in the United States. He comes from overseas. Well, I've got a news flash for you. You need to go overseas to be where Jesus and the prophets wrote. And our country is only 250 years old. So we are overseas as far as the Bible is concerned. Although I can't really find in the Bible where it states the Antichrist will rise from overseas. If you have that belief, then I need to point out to you, we are overseas. We're not Jerusalem. We're not in Israel. We're not in the area that Christ and his disciples walked. We're overseas. We're a 250-year-old country. Christ never stepped foot in this country while he was breathing. Understand this. So Trump can be the Antichrist. And it makes some logical sense, I guess, if we're going biblically. We're doing what the Bible says. He's fooled all these Christians. All these Christians believe he's God sent. He's not God sent. He's devil sent. But there's nothing about him that's Christian. There's nothing about him that'll ever be Christian. And it's just one of those things where sometimes I'm baffled at people's logic. I don't understand people's logic. I don't understand what they think or how they think or why they believe, oh, this is this and this is that. Oh, Donald Trump is here to save us. Donald Trump's destroying the country. And unless you wake up, you're going to be really. I don't know what's going to happen if we don't get rid of him and the country's destroyed. All of his followers are going to come up with some other excuse of why he destroyed the country and why it was okay. Have you ever thought about this? These people actually want to say, this is okay. We're good. He can destroy the country. We're okay. Have you actually thought about this? This is the crazy part of some people's thinking. Again, we're in trouble. We need to stand up as a whole. You know, these rich people are 1% of our population. They're the top 1% of our population, which means very few people. Outside of that, we're 340 million strong. As a whole, we're 340 million strong. And we need to actually stand on the people's power because we have power. You just don't realize we have the power. But we do have the power. We have a voice. We can unite. We can stand together and we can fight off this shit. You know, if we don't even attempt to fight off this shit, then nobody can really complain at what they get later because you were complacent. You didn't speak up. You just sat there and watched things happen. And then what will happen later is you'll complain because you're in the scenario, but you did nothing to stop it. Have you ever thought about that? It takes actions to stop something. This, to me, is my action. I'm going to talk, preach, do whatever I got to do to get people's attention on the crap that's going on in this country. You know, if somebody comes and arrests me, hey, this is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. The Constitution protects my rights to have my opinion. So, you know, come on. If you're going to come on. It's okay. I'm going to fight you all the way through till I can't breathe anymore. It don't make no difference to me. I don't want to sit by and watch the country fall and say I was complacent. I didn't say anything. I want to be able to have the right to bitch and complain when it does fall and say, see, I was trying to stop this. I was trying to keep this from happening. You know, these are the things that any of us can do. We can all speak out. I mean, I guess if you're worried about the outcome of speaking out, well, I guess Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King Jr. both worried about the outcome of speaking out, spoke out anyways. I'm fairly sure that they understood at any moment in time somebody could assassinate them, and that's what happened. You know, but they still spoke out because they believed that it was the right thing to do. And this is pretty much what I'm stating. I believe this is the right thing to do. I believe pointing out what's happening is the right thing to do. I think if we just sit back and watch things go by, then we're wrong. We wrong. Your children will suffer for this. You know, I guess especially some of my college buddies, you know, that are, and I have a bunch from, you know, way back when I started in 2008 that have families and children now. But if you sit by and watch all this shit fall, your kids are going to be the ones that take the blame. To my current Texas State buddies, if you sit by and do nothing, then well, that's on you. Trust me, because in your future, you're going to pay the price. You're going to be the one complaining and bitching and how bad things are in this country, but you didn't do anything. So I'm going to make a ploy here for everybody to go vote Democrat in the next election. I don't care. You know, there's plenty of Republicans, I meet them all the time, that are voting Democrat because they just didn't sign up for the shit that Donald Trump is doing and the mega party is doing. You know, level-headed, educated Republicans who understand that, hey, this is not the direction I want my country going. So I'll make that plea. And again, I'll do this again. Share my page. Share this video. I challenge any Republican to get up there and prove to me with factual numbers and data that Trump has made this country great again. The country was already fucking great before he got in office, so he didn't make us great again. He made us a shithole is what he made us. There's no proof that he's made this country great. Not one. Can't support it with anything. But anyways, this is just a short YouTube video. Peace out again, everybody. Finals is coming. I hope everybody gets ready for them. Y'all be safe. Peace out. Go Bobcats, go. Y'all have yourselves a nice day. Take care.